Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Wanderpreneur Show. Today, I have a lovely guest, Emma Black, who lives in Scotland. We are here to actually talk about loving what you do. I was actually just researching a few facts, and I have two facts. The first fact that's not that scary is 51% of employees are not engaged with their job because they don't like it or they don't appreciate it. And I have another fact that's crazy. It says over 70% of U.S. workers are unhappy about their jobs. These are the ones that say they hate their job, they dread going in, and most of the time they are late or they arrive super early because they are stressed out about it. So we're here to talk about loving what you do because it's a whole different love vibration when you're on the right track and you're a happier person. You don't have that stress. You don't have that tight feeling in your chest. You don't have, you can sleep at night. You can do a lot of things. And it's way more, it's better. It's better living when you actually are happy with what you do and love it. So Emma, go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you and what you do. And yeah, we'll just get started.
Thank you. So my name is Emma Black and I'm a transformational love guide and coach. I'm a mother to 6 boys and an entrepreneur. And many people think when they see, love guide or love coach that it's all to do with relationships. And I love working, with the love vibration. And it's so much more than just relationships. So I work with women, helping them rise up into their power, so that they can truly love and embrace who they are and step up and step into a life that they love and adore to live.
I love that. That's important to not just love your relationship that you're in, but love yourself as a person, love what you do, and love all areas of your life so you can really not really succeed, but be happy and fulfilled as you live out your life, because we only get one life. So it's important for us to make it the greatest and achieve what we desire to achieve or to have our desires, whatever they may be.
Hi, man. Welcome to the Wanderless Wandermore Show with your host, Christy Candelario, and Movement for Life, for freedom in life. Watch ya. Wanderless, Wandermore, expert advices for sure. Wanderless, Wandermore, helping you become an entrepreneur. Wanderless, Wandermore, travel around the world, let us go explore. Wanderless, Wandermore, expert advices for sure. Come and be guided and supported by this podcast show. We give enough insight just to help you grow. Special guest experts, business adventures about great lifestyles and so much more. Launching, transforming and leveling up businesses globally since 2012. Stay tuned and wonder less so you can wonder more.
I wanted to bring you on today because I feel like there's a lot of people, even looking at those facts that I mentioned, where a lot of people they don't love what they do. And most of the time we feel stuck. We don't want to make the next change because change is scary. That's a big risk. We could fail. We could, lose everything, upset somebody. We could do something completely wrong. So we want to stay comfortable, which is hating our reality. And I don't think that's right for us because we have so much more potential in life. Each one of you listening to this podcast show, y'all have so much potential. And I hope that you're happy and you're loving what you do. And if not, I hope you take advice today from this podcast show so you can get out and, get out of your comfort zone and to really start going into that love vibration that Emma's talking about to really achieve what it is that your heart really wants to do. You know what you want to do. You just haven't stepped up into that power yet. So Emma, can you help us kind of go over that? What happens when, you get a client and they're miserable, they're stressed out, they don't have the answers or they don't think they have the answers. How do you help them get from that part where they hate life, not necessarily hate it because that's a strong word, but really dislike it? And how do we help them rise up?
Well, you see, this is where, so I blend in all of my teachings and the modalities of like the personal development, the mindset work, the holistic background, spiritual backgrounds, and I blend all them together to suit whoever it is that comes forward to work with me. And this is why, like, it's not just about the love vibration, but really it is all about the love vibration. I love to add that into our work, because when you get to the root cause of what is holding you back in life, you just said it there, all of those fears, all of those doubts, all of those worries, thinking that, oh, I'm not good enough, what if I'm not ready, what if. When you get to the root cause of all of them, it's a lack of self-love. That's what it is. So the thing is that, yes, we've got some old programming going on there which set up a vibration within ourselves. And that vibration that is set up actually determines what you attract in your life. And this is something that we work with so that you can set your vibration up to that of love, so that you learn how to truly love and embrace who you are now. Not waiting until you've made all of the changes or anything else that it is that you're wanting to change. It's not a case of waiting, it's just learning to do it now. The thing is that when you do the work on you right now, that's when the outside world changes for you. So it all starts within. So when somebody comes to me and they're at that stage of you're just feeling lackluster about life, they've got all of these dreams, they've got all of those passions, it's a case of completely reprogramming your subconscious mind where all of these programs are set up, your old beliefs and the old habits and everything else. And again, I love to combine working with really honing in on that self-love side of things, because I feel like that complements the mindset work.
Yeah.
So that it's raising your awareness and your connection to love. Because then what happens is that you set yourself up like a magnet, so that you start to attract what it is that you actually love about life.
I believe in that attraction of love.
Powerful and confident. I'd say to somebody, it's like you become unstoppable at achieving your dreams. No matter what hurdles come your way, you rise above them to achieve your dreams. And that's the work that I do with people.
Yeah. So when you first get somebody and they have like that love vibration, what does that currently look like? Is it just hating all areas of their life, or like what's going on in their actual, or like, can we explain the love vibration? Because I know some people listening to this will be like, love vibration, what? Mindset work, what is this stuff? I just landed on this podcast show and I don't know what we're talking about. What is a wanderpreneur? Like all kinds of stuff. So can we touch on real fast, like what it is, like what, like defining the love vibration so people understand like what it is and like maybe like what a before actually looks like? Because we've already know what the after looks like, but let's explain like where someone could actually be, because I'm imagining that somebody feels desperate, they're maybe lonely, or like not, they don't feel complete, like something's missing. I'm imagining it as someone like overwhelmed, stressed, burnt out, like ready to just, crawl up in a ball and be a hermit crab kind of person. I don't know if that's completely right or not, but I wanted to get your input too, just for anyone that's listening that we may be able to help.
And that's the thing, is that we get to that stage in our lives because many times we feel like we can't achieve more or we can't do better. And I'll start with more of the mindset side of things. The reason that we are stuck in jobs that we don't want to be in, or either that, I think so many of us have passions and dreams to have our own business, you know, to do something that we really, really love to do. And we don't take the steps in doing that because of all of those, you know, that mindset, the old limiting beliefs. I call them lack love, or love lack beliefs. That's what I'm calling them now. So yeah, you've got all of those beliefs and that programming that's going on, and that's actually what's stopping you from taking the next step. Now, when we're talking about vibration, I'm pretty sure that everybody's heard about law of attraction, because it's like plastered all over the place now.
That's the best law to listen to, everybody.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that it's actually law of vibration. Have you ever heard of like attracts like?
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, many people put a block up when they hear that, because they've had some pretty rubbish stuff happen in their lives. So they'll not work with law of attraction because they're thinking to themselves, well, no, that's not true, because I'm not like that person that did that thing to me, and I'm not like, you know, that situation that happened to me. But the thing is that that's not what it actually means. It's law of vibration. So everything in this world is energy. Yeah, absolutely everything. Scientifically proven. Your energy. Stick your hand underneath a microscope. I have a high-powered microscope, mind you. And you will see that you're actually not solid, that we're all energy, and we're all emitting this vibration out into the world. Now, what controls that vibration is what's planted in our minds and what is going on in our minds. So this is where you really want to work with the mindset side of things, is because you want to retrain your mind, basically. Now, you could have old beliefs and habits that were projected towards you when you were just a baby. You know, it's not even a case of, you know, what you're doing like right now. This is stuff that's not even your beliefs. But yet throughout your life, you're just following the pattern. You're just going with the flow, just allowing life to happen to you, not really knowing that you've actually got the control there to change all of this. And this happens with so many people. That's why people keep repeating patterns. They keep staying in situations that they don't really want to stay in. And this is where, you know, you've actually got that power to reprogram what is going on in there. Now, when we're talking about the vibration of love, you know, we're all love, essentially. You know, you're actually always connected to love. You know, it's a case of, you can love a cup of coffee, you can love your favorite type of lipstick. You know, you can, you know, so you're always loving. It doesn't just mean the relationship love, you know, with that one significant other. You know, it's amazing, you know, actually, when you start shifting your awareness, you see how much you love about life. And that's the stage that you want to get at. So when we're talking about the vibration, you know, could you imagine setting your vibration up to that in alignment with love? And there's steps for you to do that. And it starts with you learning, one, how to love yourself. You know, like truly loving yourself, because love heals all wounds. And it's like those confidence blocks that are keeping you stuck in a job that is driving you nuts, that you feel like you're banging your head off a brick wall, or either that you've started up your business and you feel like you're banging your head off a brick wall. When you amp up the love, that clears the path for your dreams, for your heart's desires to flow through. So that's why I love adding in the love work that we do, you know, working with the love vibration along with the mindset. Now, in saying that as well, we've got the holistic, the spiritual background, where we work with a lot of healing as well, you know, releasing the past. But really, you know, ultimately, when you work mainly with this mindset work, that's normally enough, you know, adding in that self-love that's enough to power you up to achieve that life that you want.
I really think that is a huge secret to success when you look at people that really do have that life where they love. The ones that are actually happy. I'm not talking about the ones that are making, $1 million working all the time and are not there for their family or not doing fun things. I'm talking about the people that actually love what they do and they have an abundance of everything that they desire. I think it is all about self-love. And by self-love, we don't mean just eat healthy and go to the gym because you're loving your body. It's a whole nother level. So many of us like to put so much pressure on ourselves. Like, who decided that it was okay for us to be so hard on ourselves? Who decided for us to, have to seek approval from everybody else and to be a people pleaser? Like, there's a lot of things that we're just conditioned to do. And especially women, we like to be the caretakers. We like to be the ones that take control. We like to be the ones that, really do a lot of things. And the last thing of the, it doesn't even cross our mind that, oh, maybe I should do some self-love. I mean, self-love looks different for everybody. It could be going to the spa. It could be meditating. It could be, doing workouts and that kind of stuff, yoga, CrossFit, whatever it is. Like, there's so many different things you could do, but it's being happy with yourself and to really understand that there's no one else out there. There's nothing out there. So no object, no person, nothing can make yourself happy other than yourself, because you are in control of your actions, your feelings, your future. You're in control of every single moment, if you believe it or not. And it's up to you to really take that foot forward and to go after your desires and after those love vibrations that Emma is talking about. And definitely like the spiritual side of things and healing that you mentioned. I have to say that is so important. I had a lot of things that have happened over the years and I just bottled it up. And I never wanted to feel that feeling. I don't know if there's anyone else listening to this that can relate, but I was the kind of person that when something bad happened, I didn't want to feel that feeling. So I just blocked it out completely. So I didn't process it. I didn't process what was going on. So instead I felt like I got in a cycle until just recently I realized, and I was like, holy shit, Christy, like, look at this. It's the same cycle, the same thing happening over and over again. Maybe you should change the pattern up. And whenever I sat there and I was like, okay, I got to process this. Like, let's go back to the first one, process that. Now let's go to the next front one, process that. And like, the more like you go back in that feeling, like that moment in time, whether it was like you're 10 years old, 15, 30, whatever it is, like pick whatever age that was that happened, and you get in that moment and you really feel it and express yourself and you start releasing it, you move on. It's so much better. And that is so important to be able to do that and to understand like what happened, how you felt, and to feel it. I think feeling it is like the important part of the whole healing process, because we didn't process it, because it's in our nature. We don't want to go through anything bad. We want all the good stuff. Yet here we are miserable still. And we just keep knocking out the more miserable stuff.
There's a journey that you go through, and the first part, I mean, I do have a 6-week program, and the first part is, finally releasing that old story. It is healing yourself from that. It's freeing yourself from that so that you are free to be who you want to be. And the thing is that many people, I remember that I kept looking for what was wrong with me. What was wrong, with my mind, and because I kept on getting the same patterns happening over and over again. And I kept on getting more and more of the same. It's like because I kept on looking until finally I was like, God, enough. And that was when I took a year out and I studied with Bob Proctor's company. And, that had showed me some amazing things. And that was when I really got to grips with learning how our mind works. And even in that, that alone sets you free. Yes, you've got the daily work and you work in yourself. Every day you should want to work on yourself. That is self-love. That is you loving yourself. When you take time every single day just to do your own personal development, that's you showing yourself love. But even in that, understanding how the mind works, that can give you that sense of freedom, and then it puts you in that better space to release, so that then the healing side of the work has more power because you're understanding better, and then you truly can release all of the old crap that has been holding you back for years. So yeah, and there is, there's so many ways. They say that you were so quick to notice what we're doing wrong in our life, and God, I wish I should have did it this way, and why didn't I say that at that time? And that is all, I think the word negative is used a bit too often when you're talking about like negative thoughts and stuff like that. But really, when you're being down on yourself, again, you were so focused on how we're not loving ourselves. We're so focused on those thoughts that is, where our energy goes, where our attention goes, the energy grows. So really, you attract more of those thoughts and those feelings. That's what happens with the subconscious mind. And that's where we really want to shift our awareness into actually seeing how we are loving ourselves, and then amping that up.
I like that.
So that you start loving yourself even more, because it just naturally grows. And then what happens is that life becomes easier.
What? Life can be easier? You don't have to be miserable? No, but it's so true. It really can. Definitely. Yeah. Like you change one thing and your whole life can change. I mean, for the better or for the worse. And I mean,
so if you're stuck in that job that you can't stand, the thing is that when you work in this, so you stay in your job, you'll start to see the good in that job. But when you work with this, the path becomes clearer for you to shift away from that job and do what you love.
I love that. Yeah. So speaking of this real fast, later on in the series or episodes, I'm interviewing an Amazon queen. Like, she's awesome at drop shipping and everything else like that. And recently I heard her talk about her story, and I had no idea. But she went from homeless to a job she really hated, and then she got fired or let go or laid off from that job. And she was talking about how she was telling somebody at a church that she had been going to for a few years throughout all this mess that she was super depressed and sad that she lost her job. And then the person in the church said, "But you hated it. You should be celebrating the fact that you are no longer there because you hated your job." And I was like, oh my God, yeah, like there's a good outcome to everything. I mean, it's up to us to be able to see it, and sometimes you need someone else to bring it out in you. But when I heard that, and it was literally this morning, and I was like, that is so true. Like, you have to have a positive outlook and knowing that kind of stuff. And then like within a week, she ran into something with Amazon and then started drop shipping. And that's her full-time income. So she's going to come on and talk about that. But hearing her little pieces like that and realizing she had to step up and love herself and to appreciate the fact that something bad may have happened, but she didn't take it bad because she knew that opportunity has closed the door and I have a better opportunity coming my way. And it's all about changing your mindset too. And a minute ago, you mentioned like being subconscious and stuff like that. And like you have your conscious mind and your subconscious mind. How can we help explain to the audience how to tap into the subconscious?
Well, to tap into the subconscious, do you mean communicate with it, or
more like, I feel like, especially like when I get on calls with different clients or potential clients, and they are trying to figure out things, and you know, their conscious mind is saying that, you know, it's not the time to do their business because they have all this going on. And the subconscious mind that they haven't completely got to yet has something to do with some kind of fear that happened a long time ago that, you know, maybe they haven't released it like you were talking about, or they have always felt a certain way, but they've never brought it up. So like with me, I thought my issue was money. I thought that my issue was once I got money, it would go away from me. But that wasn't it, because I started working on my money and I still had issues. And then it came to the fact that I had to really go digging for it. And it had to do with the fact that I never felt like I was good enough. I didn't feel like I was good enough to deserve a lot of money. I didn't feel good enough to have a lot of awesome friends. I didn't feel good enough to, you know, like buy a home yet, to pay off my debts. I didn't feel good enough to be debt free. I didn't feel good enough to be with Brad at one point. I didn't feel good enough. You know, like most of my stuff was always, I don't feel like I'm good enough yet. Like maybe tomorrow I'll be better and good enough. But I never realized that until recently. I know I keep on saying recently, but it's seriously like the world has changed for Christy Candelario in the last 2 months. A lot of big eye openers, stuff like that. But for so long, I never realized that it was I never felt good enough to pursue something. And I don't know if there's some kind of way to help somebody tap into that faster, like into what it really is that is holding them back, or, you know, like that magnet that's bringing everything else to us that we don't want necessarily. Do you know how to? It's just a random question.
I feel like it's actually a bit of a process. That's what I said, you know, like when you do dig deeper and it's like, oh my God, it's like the lack of love that's within yourself, like exactly what you're talking about there, that you're not good enough, you know, that we are not enough.
Yeah, that is really to love.
Is that when you start seeing how your mind works, it starts making you think a little bit different. And then you're like, right, okay, so I can do this. You know, I can have my dreams and I can achieve what it is that I actually want to do. And through naturally doing that, a lot of the times when I'm on a call with people, I work intuitively as well. So I can actually sense your blocks. I pick up that naturally. So when I'm with people and they're just talking and then I hear it. So I would say just to do it at home. I would write down how you feel about yourself. What's the voices within your head telling you each and every day? You start being aware of how you're thinking. Look at what you're writing. Facebook's like a major one. I mean, God, when you see some of the things, I actually see less and less now because that's where my attraction is. So, but years ago, you know, you think of it, and I did the same. You know, years ago, the stuff that I would write on there, quite negative. So, really start being aware of where your thoughts are about yourself. You'll catch yourself out when you're doing your job, you're doing your work, you're just doing your life. You know, are you saying to yourself, God, you're so silly, you're so stupid? And also to think back, you know, where did those first thoughts originate? I mean, a lot of time for me, it was old babysitters. It was at school, you know, a couple of horrible school teachers, you know, telling you that you're useless, that you're stupid, that you had the same, in fact, you know, you were, you know, told quite horrible stuff from your teachers too. And I think that's the case for many of us, you know, that we've had that. For me in particular, I had quite nasty babysitters when I was younger that set up a lot of my beliefs, and that feeling of not being good enough. So I would sit down and I would take some time just to get quiet, you know, understanding that now you know it's time for change. As you're doing this, I don't want people to sit there writing it down and then they're like just in complete floods of tears and it's like, oh my God, what do I do now? But write down, you know, how you feel about yourself. When you think of what you're doing in your life right now, where you're living, What do you feel about yourself? And then I'm going to say this just because I don't like people to sit in that feeling and do nothing. It's like, okay, so I've just discovered all of the crappy things that I feel about myself.
Now what?
So then just ask yourself, right, who do I want to be? What is it that I really want to do for me in my life? And then all of that stuff that you just wrote down before of, how you're feeling, take the good from that, because you could have wrote down some good. But so take that, pop that onto your list of who you want to be. But all of that crap, rip it up and burn it. And then take the action to build up who you now want to be, to do what you want to do. And even if it's little baby steps, that is more than doing nothing at all.
I agree with those steps. I think those are 3 big, important actions. Definitely self-awareness for discovering, like, have a relationship with yourself for once.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you don't know who you are, it's time to really discover who you are and work on yourself, because I know that you do the dishes, maybe some of y'all mow the lawn, y'all do the laundry, y'all do a lot of things for a bunch of objects, y'all do things for your boss, you do things for, other people, your clients, your customers. Start doing stuff for yourself. And I think that's important, to be aware of what your thoughts are and how you feel about yourself, where you want to go, because, no matter what, you still have to know which way you're going when you get in the car to go on a road trip. You have to know if you're turning right or left, going straight. You have to know somewhere. You may not know the exact destination, but you have to know the next step to take on your path.
And that's the thing.
Just take it.
Yeah, and you grow with it as well. Do you know, it's like, so at that moment that they're at right there, it's like, okay, so this is my step. And then you discover, it's like, oh, I can have even more. So then you just move up onto the next level. And that's the way that I actually see myself. It's like I've been working up on levels. I just keep leveling up. I don't know if that's like the Power Rangers or some sort of cartoon character or something like that. It's like power up or level up.
There probably is. It does sound like Power Rangers or something.
I've got 6 boys, so it's like I'm used to a lot of cartoons. But I do. It's like I see. It's like, we just continue to rise. We're forever growing. We're forever evolving. You don't need to have it all figured out right now. Just what's your next step? And then go for that next step. And
everything takes time. Nothing's overnight. Mm-hmm. Like, you don't just transform your life overnight. If you see things like that, there's a whole backstory that they haven't shared, because maybe they're not comfortable with sharing it. But success takes time. Transformations take time. Nobody loses 30 pounds in a day. Nobody steps up and gets their dream job in day one because they did a lot of other things. Maybe they had to go to school. Maybe they had to get all this other stuff on their resume before they got their dream job. I mean, they could have one interview, but it's the whole backstory on building it up to get there. And it's important that each one of us always realize that, and to never judge us to other people and say, wow, they're so much more successful and now I feel bad about myself. But instead, be empowered by that. Look at that person and go, wow, they accomplished this, and that means that's possible. And that means what I want is possible too, and I can do it because they just did it, and I'm no different than them. Because we were all born the same way, whether it was natural birth or sonograms, whatever it is, we were all born the same way. We're all humans. We all started off in the same place. We couldn't do anything at that point. We all went to school. Maybe some of us didn't go to school, but we did learn, and we did grow a lot in our youth. And as we grow older, it's the same thing. It's just all of our actions. Because potentially, you could have exactly what your neighbor has. You just have to be able to take the right actions to get there. And speaking of that, if you're trying to go after the exact same thing that someone has, also be aware that each person's journey is different. No one is the same because you already had a bunch of stuff in the past happen to you. You already have, so many different skills and experiences than the neighbor that you have. So it's important for you to realize that too, and that your journey is going to look different. And even if you decide to try the same things they do and you fail at it, that does not mean you're a failure for life. That just means that way didn't work for you and there's another option, and you have to be open and ready to find that option to take that next step and the more actions after that. But I feel like this is a good time to talk about the travel portion of our show because it's the Wanderpreneur movement. And we like to talk about traveling because we talk about a lot of lifestyle harmony. We've talked about the business part. So let's bring in the travel part. I know that you're in Scotland, and I also know that I'm coming to visit you in person for your live retreat in Scotland. We're actually staying in a castle, which I'm super excited. I can finally be the princess I always wanted to be growing up, I have a castle for a week. But I wanted to go ahead and kind of talk about that. Like, tell us about Scotland. Like, if, I know that I've never been there, or there's a lot of people probably that have a dream of going over to Scotland and Ireland and stuff like that. And I thought it'd be cool if you could talk about that and then your retreat too. So tell us what it's like on the other side.
Well, Scotland, I don't know if I'm being a little bit biased when I say this, but I really do feel that it's one of the most beautiful countries in the world. I absolutely love living here. I love traveling and seeing all the new sights of the world. I love it. And I always love coming home. When you step off the plane and you take a good deep breath in of the fresh Scottish air, it really is crisp and it is clean. It is gorgeous. There's so much history in Scotland as well. I love that. There's so many different places that I've yet to discover and explore in Scotland. You think it's like such a small country, but yet there's like so many different places for you to go and explore. I feel that it's a very, very magical country also.
I know, I've heard that there's like fairy caves and stuff like
that.
Yeah.
We've got the fairies, we've got the mermaids. We've got the Loch Ness Monster.
Love it.
So there's so many different places to see and so many castles. I mean, it's like you could just spend a few weeks in Scotland going round and visiting so many different castles. I feel that it's a very, very healing place also, spiritually healing place. There's so many different places that you can go and just to sit and just to be and find yourself. And that's one of the things that I absolutely love. I used to, when I was a young girl, I always went bare feet everywhere. I would be climbing the walls, I would be climbing trees, I'd be climbing rooftops. And my favourite thing was always to be out in nature and just roaming the hills. And I still feel like that now that there's so many places yet to discover in Scotland that I've still not discovered myself. And that was where this castle appeared to me to host the actual retreat in, and it just aligns perfectly with the vision of the work that we're going to be doing. The area, there's ley lines that are passing through. For again, when we're talking about, the energetic shifts that's going to be going on, there is actually a solar eclipse as well that's happening the very first day that we start the retreat.
And that's August 21st.
First, yeah. And I was actually guided to search what was happening with the planets and everything else at the day that I'd picked for the retreat, because of course I was given the day and everything else. It was I communicate with spirit, and that was what was given to me. And then I was told to check, and then it was like a solar eclipse, and I was like, wow. It's absolutely amazing. The place that the retreat is actually happening, the line for the Mary Magdalene runs through that area also, where people travel all over the world just to go there for healing.
Wow.
Yeah, they hike up this hill to go there just for healing. So it's a really, really powerful, powerful spot. I know I should actually put that on the information page.
That's really cool.
There's just, it really does, many people, and that's why people travel from all over the world just to come to Scotland and just to spend that time there. Because it really is like you rediscover who you are. And then, of course, when you work with me, you power that up, and then you step into who it is that you actually want to be. So yeah, I absolutely love Scotland. So yes, the work that we're doing at the retreat as well is just, it's such an amazing blend of, I can already vision all of the women united coming together, and it's a true loving bonding experience. The transformations that are going to happen within that experience, and even as I'm sitting talking to you, I'm visioning it right now. They're going to be miraculous. They are miraculous. And that was one of the things that I'd posted up, was that there's going to be plenty of tears, but mainly it'll be tears of joy. Because when you finally free yourself from those blocks, when you make those breakthroughs, and we're going to be combining fire walking and everything to make
There's
this
a lot of cool stuff going on in Scotland.
Yeah, even extra powerful. That in fact, one of my posts today are going to be about how I broke down into tears, but it was because I was so happy when I learned that that it was okay for me to be me, that I could be successful just to be me.
That was my missing key.
Yeah. And it's just, and then of course I met you as well. So that was, you when you start to be you, you become more aligned with your truth. And that is, you start meeting people that you love and adore, to work with, to be around, to be with, that match who you truly are. So yeah, and that's, so the work that we're going to be doing over there is going to be a journey through releasing everything that has been, stepping up into truly who you want to be. And you will be ready to step up into that woman. This retreat is for women only. To actually attend the retreat, if you bring your partner, then they can go and roam the hills and the mountains. They can go play golf or fishing, or there's quite a few activities about there at that time, and they're quite manly activities as well, so it would suit them. But the event in itself is actually, that's just for women. And then of course, it's that whole thing of doing what you love. When you release those blocks that have kept you hiding, that have held you back, and you finally see, oh my God, yes, I can, you get this flooding through of inspiration, the ideas of everything, and how to step into that life that you love, that work that you love, that business that you love. And that's when we've got Christy there, who's going to show you how to do that and how to achieve success in your businesses and everything else. So yes, and we've also got Hayley Hunter-Hines, who's coming over to do Kundalini yoga, and she is doing some soul sparkle magic workshops whilst we're there also. So yeah, it's a really, really amazing time, and I'm super, super excited. That's been really, really good going on that little journey, because I've been visioning it and playing in it.
Well, perfect.
That's my visioning done for today.
Yeah, well, Emma, I'm so happy that you came on the Wanderpreneur Show and that we could talk about the love vibration and loving what you do, and definitely about Scotland and your amazing retreat. I cannot wait to meet you in person and help out with all the women that are there in the castle, and definitely staying in the castle. I mean, that's probably a really cool part. I don't know what's cooler, that or the fire walk, or, like, there's way too much. So I'm so happy that you took the time out of your schedule to come and be here on the show. And I also wanted to let everyone know that there's a link below in the description of this podcast episode, which will have a link to go right on over to book your next vacation in Scotland before everything's booked out. And again, it's in August, and I'm going, Emma's going, Haley Hines, she's going to be there, like Emma said, and it's going to be life-changing. So don't miss out on something incredible like that. But other than that, Emma, do you have any last words? Because if not, we will just wrap up the show.
No, I think I'm quite a talkative person, so I do talk quite often and let the videos run on a long length of time. But thank you so much for having me on your podcast. Yay.
No problem, and I'm a big talker too, so no worries. Other than that, I hope everybody has an awesome Wanderpreneur Wednesday, and check back next week for a new episode. Talk to y'all later. Bye.